Do you remember these?
I do.
Do you remember liking them or no?
No, I don't. I remember how infatuated you were by them.
It wasn't just me. This was like the shoe.
But you were the only sneaker person I knew.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. But back in the day, these were like the shoe of 2005, which is crazy because nowadays these are like laughed at. Hey, what's good guys? It's Chris from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we are taking a look back at a release that originally dropped in 2005. This is an original colorway, the first time that these guys have ever re-released since 2005, which I think is awesome. And this is actually a shoe where when they originally released, it's only two colorways of the shoe I really actually like. This is one of them. If you guys don't know what these are, this is actually the very first Air Jordan hybrid ever. In an era now where we have Spizike 6 rings, so we got Son of Mars Lows, Mars 270s, which are like wildly popular for some reason. So if you guys hate on these but love those, come on dude. Like I get everything's subjective, it's your opinion, but I don't really get why those are loved and all other hybrids are hated. It's so strange. But without further ado, this, my friends, is the Air Jordan Dub Zero. It smells like vinyl. It's because that stupid fucking tongue. This tongue is like the worst material on this shoe right here.
Was it like that always?
I don't remember. I never actually had a pair of these. These were really hard to get back in 2005. People were slanging these things on eBay like there were a pair of Jordan 1s. You really had to have been there to appreciate this shoe because like I said, a lot of people nowadays, like they look at this and they're just like, ah! This shoe at the time was really, really cool. Originally released in 4 colorways back in 2005. The very first one was the laser blues. Looked just like this, but a light blue. Kind of a Nightwing vibe to them. Maybe that's why I really like them. But I really dug those. And then there was they called it like ceramic, but it was orange. I did not like those. Those did not age well either because it had white patent leather and it yellows like crazy. And then there was like this black and gold ones, but they called it something else. They called it like taupe or something like that. I remember, sidetrack, just a little story. Do you remember where we were working when these were originally released? We were up in Belmont.
Yep, before August or after August, so I can truly paint a picture for myself.
Why? What does that mean?
Because we got married that year, so that's why I remember the shoe coming out. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're in Belmont.
We're in Belmont, okay, North Bay. Like I said, where I'm from the Bay Area, these guys were popping. I don't know where you're from, so I think that's so funny. Like if I'd be like, oh, these are a flopper, these guys sold through, and then there's other people being like, you know, and I'm just like, bro, just say where you're from and be like, here they're sitting or here they're selling. Like, don't be a dick. Where I'm from, to be very specific, the Bay Area, these guys were hella hard to get, just like a Spizike a couple years later. So I was working in Belmont. I was doing my old kind of job or whatever, which was in property management. And I remember just being in the office and I had a lot of residents. I want to call them customers, but they're not. I was like the resident sneakerhead, you know what I mean? Like I was the guy that you talk to all the time, and a lot of people would just come into my office just to hang out. And I was cool with that because I worked by myself. So it was really dope. And this is the early days of the internet blogging. I remember the shoegame.com was the shout out to G-Rock, by the way. And nicekicks.com sold fakes. This was the first shoe that was like heavily faked and had SpongeBob on it. Now you see real legit SpongeBob shoes from Nike and stuff like that, but this shoe had SpongeBob on it before it was the thing. From China, they weren't real. And I just remember a guy coming in, I can't remember his name, he was kind of thuggy, and he was asking me to help him authenticate. Because this was a time when, like right now, if you put a fake shoe next to a real shoe, even I can barely tell. But back then, it was super easy to tell, man. Like you just, whoa, what the f? You know what I mean? Like SpongeBob, crazy. Anyway, so he came in the office, he was looking for these, but they were nowhere like in stores, but he did not want to get jacked on eBay. He asked me to find him a pair of shoes. I was like the toy hunter, okay? But for sneakers. Have you guys seen that show? That show's awesome. So I found him a pair within his budget, got them in, he paid me back. He was super appreciative. But anyways, that's like my remembering of this shoe and everything. What this shoe actually is and what it stands for though is the 20th anniversary of the Jordan brand. And clearly the Jordan brand is like 34 years old now. But at the time, the Air Jordan 20 was the main flagship shoe. And again, this was the very first hybrid. So again, to sneakerheads at the time, we were looking at this shoe like, oh my God, what the f this is crazy in a good way. Then we got Fusions, and it ruined everything. Literally, it ruined everything. I mean, look at these things. They're hideous. Now again, these guys are an amalgam of some of what the brand at the time was considering some of its best models, I guess, or maybe some of the more iconic models. A little bit different than the Spizike, which was to pay homage or homage to Spike Lee and the models that he actually helped advertise in their advertising campaign. So that's what that shoe is all about. This shoe is completely different. It's just they were picking and pulling like what they felt were some of the best models. So we're starting off with the 4. You can clearly see that outsole, midsole tooling, fire reddish colorway. Then you jump up here, Air Jordan 6 on the spoiler. And then we have the 11 on the mudguard right here. Obviously patent leather, shiny stuff for the win. And then you move on up to the Air Jordan 12. That's in the tongue. Very subtle, but it's there. You got the 2-3 down the tongue and everything. And then you have the Jordan 13. That's probably the most prominent thing here besides the patent leather and the Air Jordan 4 tooling, because the paneling, that's the Air Jordan 13. Like, you can't deny that. It looks a little bit weird nowadays. When it first came out, I thought it was cool.
It's just hard to see because it's missing the dimples.
Oh, the dimples on the upper. Yeah, that's one of the things that, like, I'll talk about that in a second, but that's one of the things that they took off in lieu of putting on something else. But again, I'll talk about that in a second. You can also see the Jordan tongue tag right there at the bottom. That is also from the Air Jordan 13. Then they jumped to the 15, which is weird. Nobody likes that shoe except for me, or there's other people, but like it feels like I'm all by myself. But the Air Jordan 15 is present right here with the woven material on the back. And then for some reason, again, kind of like the 15, they took from the 17 with that little guy, little tiny thing.
Wow, you got to hunt for that.
Yeah, I almost forgot what it was, like what it was from. And then they jumped to the Jordan 20, and again, that's the shoe that was releasing that same year, 2005. It was the 20th anniversary of the brand. Spike Lee came back for that, by the way. He was telling the story of the brand in the commercial for that shoe, which was really cool. And again, that's kind of what this shoe is. That's what the laser print's all about. So like Mrs. Wing was saying, they removed the dimples, that kind of quilted look that's like really popular or known for on the Air Jordan 13. They took that off and they put it on the laser print. That was something that was featured on the strap of the Air Jordan 20. And laser print at that time was brand new. So it was like, ooh.
Laser print everything.
And they did. They did. They still do it today. It's just not as popular as it used to be. But at the time, it was like really awesome that like you can draw on your shoes permanently. That was not a marker. You know what I mean? Like it like literally cut into the leather.
Isn't that funny now? Because that's the thing with the LeBrons is they sell the markers that you can wipe off.
I don't know if you could wipe it off because it looks like a Sharpie.
No, in the newest one for the 17s with the tongue that you can swap out.
That's like a whiteboard? Really? That's stupid. And then one of the little random things is this little spoiler or bumper right there, little grill in the back. That is not on any shoe, but the font is the Air Jordan 20 font. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, these guys do fit true to size, so whatever you typically wear in your Jordans, that's what I would recommend. That's what I went with. They are a little snug, despite having that kind of boxier toe and everything like that. But that is what I would recommend. And again, you're not gonna get a lot of comfort out of these, but you're gonna get like, I don't even wanna call it good looks.
I was gonna say, you're gonna get a lot of looks.
You're gonna get looks. I just don't know if they're the ones that you're wanting. And with all that out of the way, I would like to bring Mrs. Wing over here because she said that she wants to talk some shit. So let's do that. She doesn't really want to talk shit. She just said that she wanted something to say.
Yeah, I actually don't have anything. I could, but I don't.
Could what?
I could say some things.
Leave that to all the people in the comments.
No, so that's what I did want to talk about. I've been dabbling in podcasts lately, and there's this one that I like to listen to. It has Dax Shepard from Parenthood and
it's Kristen Bell's husband.
Yeah, married to Kristen Bell.
I was just about to say Kristen Bell's wife.
But I forget who he was interviewing. The topic of how it's way easier to hate on something than to admit that you really love something.
Wait, what?
It's way easier to like say, even
like
if
go
you
with the flow.
Yeah, and not so much that.
Are you just saying because like it's trendy to hate on something like this?
Almost. You make yourself vulnerable by saying that you really like something. Like think about all the closet nerds that you grew up with. It was embarrassing to be like, hey, you're into comic books, but now it's.
It wasn't embarrassing. Just people made fun of you for some reason.
Exactly, and it was very like trendy to make fun of people for that.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of people out there who actually do dig that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know, and all you people got to stop being.
I think it would be interesting to see if maybe people do like this shoe more than.
That's the funny thing though, is that I was talking to, I'm not going to name blast him, but like I was talking to a friend. He does like this shoe. He doesn't like what they've done to the shoe, and neither do I, because they were that 4 original colorways, right? And then there was like a random 5th colorway, like they like lost it.
What color?
It reminded me more of an Air Flight 89 colorway. They were like white and midnight navy.
Okay.
With a little bit of gray. And that shoe released, I think, a year later or something like that. So again, like it felt like it was like, did you forget about this one?
Yeah.
But yeah, then they released the shoe or re-released the shoe in 2009 and they flipped it a little bit. They did not do the laser print, but the print was still there, and so they embroidered it.
Oh.
Well, you don't have to make that face, because some of the colorways were really good. Like there was like a white and cement colorway, there was a black and red colorway. It was a pretty nice little run. And then they did the thing what they normally do, where it's like, well, let's release some more. And then they started releasing just some really bad colorways.
So he didn't like that.
The bad colorways?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I almost bought the ones that had the embroidered thing, because like the white cement floors hadn't like retroed a billion times at that point. And so when I see stuff like that, like I kind of like, I'm like, oh, like just to get my fix. Like I wanted to do that, you know what I'm saying? But I never did.
You little sneaker junkie.